hope you're all doing wonderful. We're doing pretty well here in Alaska. We've gotten a little bit more snow this last week. It snowed 3 or 4 times. Sometimes just like super crazy big flakes, just tons of snow all at once, and then that was it. Just a big dump for a couple hours, and then it's over. And then our temperatures are just kind of floating along between just above 0 at night to almost in the 30s during the day. So, it's just hanging in there. And the last couple days, I've seen the sun poking out, blue skies, and usually when that happens, it's colder, but it gets us excited for spring to see the sun. And our days are getting longer. I think the sun came up today at like 8:34, and then it'll go down at like 5:30 something, and so we've got just over 9 hours of daylight. So it's getting exciting. We're getting more and more daylight, and so we're getting the urge to get out and do things already, even though it's still February. But yeah, it's still winter here, but there's daylight. You can go walking, you can go do things, even though it's winter. It's daylight, so you can get out and do things. So anyways, so today I want to share something a little bit different than our usual videos. I don't know if we have a usual videos. Our videos are just kind of random, whatever we feel like talking about. That's what we talk about. So that's how it is. And so anyway, we wanted to share a special event that David and I and my sisters, my 2 sisters, we got the privilege of volunteering for, and David and I have volunteered the last 2 years. And then my sisters volunteered with me this year along with David's. So I'm just going to start off by asking you some questions, and then we'll see how much you know about a certain person. So I just want to ask you if you have ever heard of Tim Tebow. Maybe you've heard of him from his football career. He was with the Florida Gators, the Denver Broncos, and the New York Jets. Maybe you have heard about him. He was the guy who wore the Philippians 4:13 under his eyes. Or you heard of him because he was the guy who knelt on one knee after a good play and thanked God. And now, when football players do that still to this day, that is called Tebowing. When you get down on one knee and thank God for your good play. That's called Tebowing. And Tim Tebow made that signature move. And so those are some things you may know about him or have heard the name through football. But after his football career, he went back to playing baseball, which he hadn't played since he was young. And he really enjoyed baseball, but he was encouraged to go into football. So he did the football thing. And then he went back to what he thought he really liked. And he played that for a few years. And he actually played with the New York Mets and then another team. In 2021, he announced his retirement from baseball. But he wasn't done. There was a lot more that God had planned for Tim Tebow. In 2010, he founded the Tim Tebow Foundation, which is a faith-based outreach group that works with children in need, building facilities for sick children, granting wishes for children with life-threatening illnesses, and building playrooms in hospitals and orphanages, among other far-reaching charitable works. The Tim Tebow Foundation exists to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in their darkest hour of need. The Tim Tebow Foundation serves children and shares God's love by fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves. So the Tim Tebow Foundation hosts an event each year called The Night to Shine. It is an unforgettable prom night experience centered on God's love for people with special needs, joining together to honor thousands of kings and queens. 2023 was their 9th annual Night to Shine event. And the event is held on the same day all over the world. And this year was February 10th. The last 2 years, COVID restricted the event to a parade-style celebration, and we were involved in it last year. When I heard that Alaska was going to hold a Night to Shine event here in my hometown in 2022 for the first time in Alaska, I volunteered right away and pulled David in along with many in our Christian motorcycle group. It was a blast, and seeing so many beautiful smiling faces was amazing. So when it came around this year and I heard it was going to be an indoor prom event, I, of course, along with David and my 2 sisters, volunteered again.
You know what? COVID can cancel a lot of things, but it can't cancel worth and value and love for people.
This being only the 2nd year for the Night to Shine in Alaska, our special needs guest list went from 40 last year to 95 this year, and there were so many more volunteers. Here in our small town of Palmer, Alaska, we held our event in a large building on our state fairground property. David, along with some other men, were directing and valet parking vehicles. Here in Alaska, the temperature was 22 degrees and quite breezy. The guests made their way from their car down the red carpet while the volunteer paparazzi cheered them on, making them feel like royalty. The paparazzi team was amazing. I was part of that team. It was so cold, and it took over 30 minutes to usher all of our guests into the building for their special night.
I don't know. I forgot to grab them.
With frozen fingers and toes, we danced and cheered as much to keep warm as to welcome every single person until the last car was parked and all the guests were inside being treated to a night we hope they never forget. They entered the building, of course, on a red carpet and found their guest check-in, and each guest was given a name badge, and from there they had the option to eat a delicious and beautifully catered dinner or go to the beauty parlor where volunteers from the beauty school were doing hair and makeup. There were games to play, and most enjoyed were the costumes and the dance. And for those that wanted to be a part of the night but needed a break, there was a quiet room. There was also a photo booth and ice cream donated from a local ice cream shop. Everyone had a great time, guests and volunteers alike. My niece was one of the guests, and she smiled more this night than I've seen her smile in a long time. She loved getting dressed up and having a party where everyone was like her and no one stared or wondered about her. Every guest was celebrated and loved and made to feel the love that God has for them and the value that He puts on their lives. About midpoint in the evening, Tim and Demi Tebow came on the screen and welcomed all the guests to the Night to Shine.
We love you so much, and let your light shine because you're royalty, because you are so loved, because you are VIP.
And told them of God's love for them and that tonight was about them and it was their night to shine. Each volunteer had been given a crown or tiara, and together we crowned our guests, kings and queens, God's royalty. It was such a blessing to see the joy it brought to so many. It was a beautiful evening. We had planned on going out with a bang, but because of the wind, the fireworks were canceled. But even so, I believe it was a night that each guest will remember the love that they felt and we pray that God would go with them each day and remind them often of their worth to Him. It was super, super beautiful night seeing all the guests arrive with their beautiful gowns and their suits, and they came in wheelchairs and walkers, and some were carried in. It was just so beautiful to see them all there together and see that they all are very valuable and very loved, and they sometimes get overlooked or forgotten or stared at or shunned. And we wanted to make sure that every single guest at the party knew that they were loved and that they were valued, and that we wanted to be near them, and that we wanted to dance with them and smile with them and laugh with them. And I hope that we were able to do that, and it was a lot of fun. And so I just wanted to say thank you to Tim and Demi Tebow and the Tebow Foundation for giving us the opportunity to partner with you in this special ministry. It was so much fun. And I just wanted to say that I believe this life is about giving, and giving of yourself, your time, and your talents. And God sees to it that you are well cared for when you do give. And so I want to thank all of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that that you'll maybe look up, if you're interested, you'll look up a Night to Shine in your area. And if there is one, maybe you will get out there and volunteer. Next year's Night to Shine will again be in February. And so see what you can do for those in your community. And I hope that you all have a very blessed week, and we will see you again next Sunday. Bye.
No will was speed, the captain's mate was not of greed. Soon may the whaleman fall.
That's pretty good, you guys got it.
VIP.
We're worn out jeans, I can't help thinking this is how it
We're glad the fun's not over yet.
There's a pressure.